the San Jose Sharks are very proud to select from Boston University, Macklin Celebrini.
He's ready to go. Okay, one little, oh, there you go. Terrific work by Macklin Celebrini, and the back pressure by Fabian Zendelin, and the extra effort.
Macklin Celebrini, 18-year-old prodigy out of Vancouver, Canada, who is single-handedly dragging San Jose Sharks out of one of the darkest and longest rebuilds. Over the course of this video, I'm going to show why I believe Celebrini is a beacon of hope for Sharks fans and also a superstar in the making. Hit like and subscribe and join me while I introduce Macklin Celebrini, the NHL's next superstar. First, to set the stage and show why this 18-year-old prodigy means so much to an organization, I have to take you through the dark times of the Sharks rebuild. The Sharks used to be playoff royalty. They made the playoffs 14 times from 2003 to 2019, including an awesome Stanley Cup run in 2016, where they ultimately lost to the Penguins. But as Sharks fans, we thought those great times would never end. They were somewhat underachieving throughout those years. They were always knocking on the door of winning the Stanley Cup, but never could quite make it there. But as this beautiful beard grew grayer and grayer, so did the Sharks' future. Their once dynamic and exciting stars were aging. Cut to 5 years with no playoffs, and things really hitting rock bottom in the 23-24 season with a 19-win season. Sharks fans had very little reason to have hope or even attend games. Their 77% home attendance was the lowest in that 23-24 season. And if you watched any Sharks home games last year, you know 77% is very generous. Then, a blessing from hockey gods, the Sharks were awarded the #1 pick in the 2024 draft. Suddenly, a light at the end of the tunnel. How well would this 18-year-old perform under these sky-high expectations, and also under all the weight of an entire fan base placing all of their repressed hopes and dreams on him? Well, let's break down the stats and see why Macklin Celebrini truly is the NHL's next superstar. Macklin Celebrini wasn't just great for an 18-year-old, he rewrote history. Check this out. He had 25 goals, 38 assists, 63 points in only 69 games. Those 63 points tied him for second place among rookies, just behind Lane Hutson's 66 points. More on Lane Hutson and other rookie comparisons later. Oh, and Macklin scored his first hat-trick, becoming the first rookie to do so this season. But somehow it gets even crazier. In his first 45 games, Macklin scored 40 points, becoming the fastest Sharks rookie to ever hit that number. Here's a little more obscure stat for you, but he's the second 18-year-old in NHL history to contribute to 5 game-winning goals in a row. I don't even know how that stat is possible, considering the Sharks only won 20 games this last year. And who was the other 18-year-old who completed this feat? Sidney Crosby. Sid the Kid, meet Mac the Kid. No, maybe that's too much. I still don't like that comparison, even though there are similarities between those two players. But I'd be interested in hearing who you guys think Macklin's closest NHL comparison is to down in the comments. Now let's talk two-way game. Celebrini is not just a goal scorer, even though you may think that given his point totals this last year. But even when he isn't showing up on the scoring sheet, he's making an impact with his relentless back-checking and his physical fighting on the boards. You could turn on a Sharks game at random from this last year, and the impression you will have coming away from that Sharks game is that Celebrini was all over it. I was constantly impressed by him outmuscling veterans and having an impact on offense and defense, and if you ask me, that cannot be underrated. Macklin's 29 takeaways and 53 block shots may not initially seem impressive, but when you compare it to other players who had similar point totals, it puts him up there with Jack Eichel, Sam Bennett, and Sidney Crosby. The Sharks head coach Ryan Warsofsky says, "The way he competes at 18 drags people into the fight. His willingness and frankly eagerness to fight and do the dirty work as a high-skill talent player is an undertold part of Celebrini's game." Okay, earlier I mentioned Lane Hutson, so let's talk Calder Race, which is the NHL's Rookie of the Year award. But before we get into the Celebrini-Hutson-Calder debate, you should know that I am completely unbiased in the matter, so my opinion should be taken very seriously here. First, I feel like something that doesn't get talked about enough is these two used to be teammates at BU, and the fact that they're in this Calder dogfight is pretty special. I'll also be bringing Matej Michkov into this debate and comparison because his points are very similar to Hutson's and Celebrini's, but I feel like he has distanced himself as kind of a third candidate at this point. Someone I won't be bringing into this debate and talking about a lot is the goalie, Dustin Wolf. who is a fellow Gilroy, California native, just because he's a goalie and it's hard to compare those numbers with other players' numbers. But it should definitely be said that he is in this Calder race. All right, let's get into the numbers, and as you can tell through these three players are very similar. Well, Celebrini and Michkov having 63 points and Hutson at 66. I'll admit it, what Hutson is doing as a defenseman is pretty special. And the fact he's helped drag the Canadiens into the playoffs has to be noted. Also, I can't help but think what could have been if we kept these two teammates together. Maybe someday. To Macklin's credit, he's been doing all this at the age of 18 and on a Sharks team that's frankly been a tire fire. Celebrini's point total on a Sharks team that's bottomed out the league's goal scoring is pretty dynamic. Plus, Celebrini missed 12 games earlier in the year with a hip injury, leaving me wondering what a 82 game season of Macklin Celebrini could have looked like. Him missing those 12 games and still putting up 63 points give him a 0.91 points per game total, which is elite. Only 4 other rookies in the last 15 years have topped it, and they've all won the Calder. Tell me who you guys have as your Calder winner, but for me, if I'm being honest, I do think that Hutson slightly edges out Celebrini for the Calder win this year. I just think what he's done as a defenseman and the fact that Hutson has kind of dragged that Canadiens team into the playoffs separates him from the rest. I think Celebrini comes in second, just above Michkov, who has done just as good on offense, but let's be honest, Michkov has kind of been a liability on defense. And again, I don't want to miss out on talking about Dustin Wolf, as what he's done as a goalie has been great, but I just feel like it's hard to separate yourself as a goalie. Calder or not, Celebrini has already changed the Sharks' future and vibes. Last year before Celebrini, nobody wanted to watch the Sharks. They were honestly a snooze fest. But now, with Celebrini, my joy and passion for watching hockey is back. In his first year, Celebrini broke the Sharks' rookie points record with 63, and also their single-game rookie points record with 5. There's no doubt about it. Macklin Celebrini is already the face of the Sharks franchise, and even though they're not playoff-bound yet, with Macklin Celebrini leading and a supporting cast so far of William Eklund and Will Smith, this rebuild is starting to feel less like a funeral and more like a party. For now, that's a wrap. Thank you all for watching, and I hope all of you walk away from this video of the opinion that Macklin Celebrini truly is the NHL's next superstar. Thanks. As you guys may know, this is a brand new YouTube channel, so if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up as well as hitting subscribe, especially if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. I'd also be interested in hearing your guys' feedback on topics or other things you'd like to see in upcoming videos. Anyways, thanks again for watching.